Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Paul. On this channel, I'm going to be posting videos related to gardening, beekeeping, and possibly macro photography and winemaking. Have you ever wanted to keep your own bees and harvest your own honey, but just didn't know where to get started or how to get started? Well, I actually did get started. This is a jar of honey I actually did harvest last year, and these are the bees I harvested it from. This is the first year of me keeping bees, and this is going to be a video diary of what happened and how it happened. In this video series, I'm going to take you back through the last year of keeping bees. This is a brand new hobby for me, something I've never tried before, and I've been learning and making mistakes along the way. So I hope to pass on what I've learned, what I would improve maybe, and maybe get some feedback as far as some of the mistakes I'm making as well. Unfortunately, the year started with my father passing away somewhat suddenly and unexpectedly. By the end of the spring, we were trying to decide what to do with the empty hives, and after thinking about it a little bit, we decided to give it a go. This was my father's favorite hobby. It would have been a bit of a waste just to throw away the hives, and it's kind of nice to keep something going he started. Now, my mom did help him out a little bit, but her knowledge is very limited as far as I guess she has some practical knowledge, but not a lot of book knowledge on keeping bees. So she's been helping me out a little bit, but my experience is practically zero. And the last year the hive did not make it through the winter. So I started off in June trying to clear out the hives and sterilizing them. So that's how things started, clearing off the old bees and sterilizing the hives. So in preparation, I started watching some YouTube videos, and I also started consulting with ChatGPT, which is really great if you're having questions of any sort new to a topic. So it's a great resource, and you can quickly get an answer to a question you're currently having. Now, I really love the taste of honey, and there was definitely a little bit of honey left on some of these frames, but I did not really know which frames had the honey or which ones were needed, because I was planning to start a new hive. So at this point, I'm just clearing off the dead bees, and I'm hoping to reuse all the frames or as many as I can as feeder frames for the new hive. Basically, I will combine this hive with a brand new one I'll purchase from a local bee supplier. So at this point, it's early June. I started off by sterilizing. I thought it'd be a good idea to sterilize everything, so I took apart the hives and the box that I was going to reuse to start the new hive in, and began by taking out all the frames and sterilizing the box itself. So to do this, I purchased, or actually I had one of those blowtorch looking things that are used for plumbing, because I've done a little bit of plumbing before. So my uncle's a plumber, so I had one of these before from him. I was trying to be very thorough, getting all the frames as much as I could, because I know that I read enough that to know that sterilizing things and keeping pests away from bees is a big part of the hobby. The big challenge, I guess, is not to have the hive die over winter. And that means trying to prevent an infection from breaking out in the hive, so for any diseases that may have survived from last year. Alright, so it was middle of June and I was excited to purchase my first set of bees. So if you're looking to get into this hobby, keep in mind that typically you'll have to call a bee supplier a couple of months in advance.
Your destination is on the right.
Being already late in the year, if it wasn't for a family friend that had placed an order for a nuc, I probably wouldn't be able to have started, but he had some issues with some of his tenants and he decided that he wasn't going to keep bees this year. So he let me basically pick up the order that he placed earlier in the year. Having paid around $250, this is what I received, which is a box of 4 frames. Inside this box are living bees. The box needs to have ventilation windows for the bees to breathe and not to overheat. And just placed them in the trunk of my car and left. So the bees can die on the way home, so you have to be very careful that you're not driving on a very hot day and it's cooler in the car, and also that you're maintaining a good fresh air supply to the bees. At this point, it's late in the evening. I made a slot or a space in the middle of the hive and I've placed maybe 5 frames filled with honey. And in the middle, I was going to place these brand new frames. Since you pretty much get scheduled for pickup, you can't really choose when you're going to receive the bees. So unfortunately for me, on this day, by the time I got to my mom's place, to her property, the sky was already turning gray and it looked like it was going to storm any minute. This time of year, thunderstorms are pretty intense and pretty frequent. And this thunderstorm was just very close to starting, so I was really in a hurry here at this point. So I'm blowing a little bit of smoke in there, trying to calm them down. Overall, these bees were super calm. I was surprised how calm they were. I lucked out with this very calm set of bees. So I was just placing them frame by frame in the middle, trying to maintain the same order that they came in the box. As I'm taking out the frames, I'm also trying to see if I can spot the queen. The nook that I received, the plastic box, basically contains a queen and some worker bees and everything that's needed, all the bees that are needed to start an active colony. The queen is going to lay eggs and expand the colony and fill out the rest of the honey at the hive. Maintaining the same order is very important, so just the frames need to be in the same order that you receive them in. and it probably has to do with where the queen is and where her worker bees are and where she's laying new eggs. So at this point, all 4 frames are in, and I'm just trying to get the bees that are still left in the box. You can just basically tap them out, and I end up leaving the box next to the entrance of the beehive. I covered the beehive with the roof and left the box at the entrance overnight. About 6 weeks later, I decided to add a second box to the colony. Now, it's at this point, looking back at this video from the first day, I can spot the mistake, but I did not know I made a huge mistake until I opened up the hive and realized I can't put the second box on. Now, looking back at the first day video from this angle, I can clearly see what the mistake was here, and it's going to become apparent to me, unfortunately, when I'm in the middle of taking the hive apart and I have to make a quick decision what I'm going to be doing to address the mistake and fix it. So I'm just going to play the following clip. It's totally POV, first person perspective, as I go into the hive thinking I'm going to be adding a second box to the first box, to the top of the first box, only to realize the mistake I've made. In the excitement and hurry of the first day, because of the thunderstorm that was coming, I did not notice that the first box is actually not facing the proper way. So as you're looking here, what which way it needs to face is there's a bit of a slot for the frames to fit in there, and somehow I did not see that the first day. These slots are actually not there, so that means that the frames are basically too far out into the sides of the box, and the second box can't fit on top. So very frantically I'm trying to decide what to do here. Alright, so here I realized that the first box is actually upside down, so I can't put the second box on top without having to flip it. So I'm just trying to make a quick decision here, and at first I thought maybe I'll just continue with the boxes being upside down, and that way they're going to fit together properly. So this is what I'm going to be doing here. So I'll just take a new box and flip it upside down. At least for now, this is what I decided to do. So at this point I'm still looking for a box that maybe is going to be a little bit bigger and hopefully would have fit over the frames that are sticking out from the bottom box. When you start beekeeping, one of the first things you realize is how hot it gets inside one of these suits when you have the clothing on yourself that's supposed to protect you from bees. And if it's a nice warm summer day, as typically is when you're working on the beehive, then it starts getting pretty hot in there. So you're trying to do as much as you can, as fast as you can, and not to disrupt the bees as well, because especially being a beginner keeper like I was a little bit afraid that I was gonna spook the bees and the bees were gonna attack me. Here it is. Me noticing that the only way this is gonna fit in is if I flip the boxes, but at this point the boxes are going to be upside down. So I just decided to go with it because there are bees flying around, and decided just to add it for now, and I'll come back and fix it a little bit later at a different time.